It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo, and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim-flam sauce with the awesome fave, with shafafa on the side.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. We're back live. Lubie is back alive in one piece. There was no calamities that befell the Dominican Republic, unlike his last trips to Morocco, where there was a major earthquake. And I don't know why we think that there's always going to be disaster. But how was your trip, Lubie? Welcome back. And we're at Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market in Hollywood. And we, as you can see, Gene, the grilling and cooking machine, has got a beautiful Passover holiday display meal.
He has just announced that he's converted to Judaism. I don't know. I mean, Gene should be wearing a yarmulke today. The way he's put out this Passover display, absolutely incredible, Gino. Wow. How do you do it? I mean, were you studying religions at some time? Because you really put on a hell of a display. And I would have to say, very edible looking gefilte fish, even by my standards. I mean, which, there's like no way I could try it. But wow, that looks great.
Yeah, those are my grandma's recipe because
your grandmother's
your
recipe?
grandmother's Jewish.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bubula.
In fact, here's his grandfather on the back of this matzah box. This is Gene's grandfather.
That's actually my great-grandfather. My great-grandfather, believe it or not, was an Orthodox rabbi in Russia, little outside of Moscow, and he got chased out of there in the late 1900s, and my whole family came. But no, this I found in my pantry, and we're going to have a couple of experiments today.
Okay.
First of all, welcome back. It is great to have you on the Lunchbox as always. Gene, one of the managers here. Of course, we got Jose. I don't know. I haven't seen him yet.
Great job, man. Yeah.
But Delaware has been here for over 60 years.
Yes.
It is a landmark, and anytime a holiday comes around, I love coming out here. And, you've got the whole – do you want to take us through the Passover Seder plates that you have assembled here for us, Gene?
I don't know about all that. Like for every holiday, we always make ourselves available for our customers. If it's a Jewish holiday, we're always there. We prepare the gefilte fish using whitefish.
Whitefish, not pike. Whitefish and pike.
Pike and carp. We have them all, and that's what we use to make our gefilte fish. And my recipe is really a combination of a bunch of recipes. Because when I started making it, it wasn't that great. And then I had some Jewish friend that come over, and then they're like, this is how you should be making it. As a matter of fact, I have a good friend of mine who passed some years ago. She gave me her own recipe how to get a good gefilte fish.
That looks great.
Yeah. So
it really does.
It looks tremendous. And I've been touting it to, Defo was scarred. I think we went through this last month by, incidents in his youth involving jarred gefilte fish and jelly.
It was ugliness. It really was
ugliness. First of all, the question to answer is, this is a box of matzah that was in my cupboard. It says Passover 2002. So we're going back 2 years.
2002?
Freshly sealed. Is it going to be
22
stale
years ago,
or is it
Mayo.
still edible?
I think it might be stale.
2022.
Little stale.
Stale?
We're going to stay away from that.
I think it's going to be stale.
Seems a little soft, yeah.
So that answers question number one. Question number two, Gene. And before we get to the brisket, and you got the carrots, and you got a nice turkey here, and some potato pancakes, latkes, all looking beautiful. I'm going to dive in soon. But the question is this. Earlier on I said, would you eat a whole piece of gefilte fish? He said, no way. He might try a bite. But this is it, Defo.
$100 for a bite?
The gefilte fish challenge right now on the lunchbox. And right here you see a crisp $100 bill.
Where'd you get that?
I did not print it. This was actually
this is real.
Government.
You've been losing every time we've seen you at the track.
U.S. legal tender. This is good for debts, all debts, public and private. I don't know how many of those we have these days. But Defo, okay, and
it's not happening. I mean, don't even.
Are you aware there is a $125,000 pick five carryover in the late pick five at Gulfstream today? This $100 if you parlay it into a successful pick 5, could lead to just
25.
I guess dimes upon dimes.
Yep.
Will you eat a whole gefilte fish for $100?
No.
Wow. I don't know if I'd be insulted about that.
No, you
Gene.
shouldn't be insulted, Gene. It's just it's a mental thing.
But this
Now,
is,
Mayo, that
this
just
is
leaves an extra one for
totally
Mayo.
different from the stuff you have from,
Right. And the question is,
A bite, maybe.
I would have given him 200 if he did it all in one big Mayo bite, which I am not going to do. I am going to actually savor this.
Here's the
gefilte
problem,
fish.
Gene. You know, right after the show, he's going to ask for the money back.
Oh,
That's
it
not
was just
true.
for a
Okay.
show. So, I mean, I can't win.
I didn't know that part.
You don't know Mayo yet. You really
I
don't
am
know
not
Mayo.
one of those. If I give you $100, that's yours to keep, my
Oh,
friend.
yeah? Well,
Can you try at least a bite?
challenge Lubie on that.
Just try a little piece of carrot.
How about a little carrot and onion?
Oh, the carrots are great, man.
And the
Oh,
onion?
yeah.
You
No,
like
that's all
onions,
good. Yeah.
right? All right. So
You like
got
my
that.
mother. I mean, you like liver.
Here, I'm going to give you. I'm not even going to. Oh, that one dropped off the table.
Don't waste
Look
it,
at that.
Mike
It's
Mayo.
just.
Yeah.
It's
Don't
like
waste it.
you're not even going to have a bite. Oh my.
I don't need a bite of this.
All right, here we
Yeah.
go. I'm going in for the first
You
bite.
should,
I'm
yeah.
going to do this with a little onion on it, and of course the red horseradish.
Right.
See, here's the thing, though.
traditional one.
You're using a lot of massive ingredients to disguise the flavor, which
Oh my god!
You don't really need to.
you don't need it. That's
You don't really need to, but you know,
It's tradition
for the
Tradition.
purpose of the show, yes,
Tradition.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the way I remember the gefilte fish.
the matzah's not as stale as you made it out to be. It seems okay. I haven't had a matzah in years.
For me, when I have
Yeah.
gefilte fish, I love to take a little slice, put it on a piece of matzah. You're absolutely right, though, Gene. This needs no accoutrements.
No.
It's good on its own, and you can taste the freshness.
Yes.
It's almost like in France, they make these pâtés, liver pâté, and where you're having things that are ground up that are like from meats and animals, but this is kind of just like a ground
That's
fish,
fresh ground fish.
a
Yes.
fish pâté, I'd almost call it.
Yes. That's basically what it is.
I don't know what. It's just not half bad.
Look at this.
It's his show, Gene. It's his show.
I know.
Yeah.
Hey.
You know what, though? This is great because you wouldn't think of coming to Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market to get all the things you need for a Jewish meal ceremony.
Yes.
And yet you've done it. Now the potato latkes, do you have those available for people? They can pick it up like that? Or is that just something you made for us?
I just made it for you guys.
okay.
Yeah.
It's more of a
That's-
Hanukkah tradition.
The
than
turkey's
Passover.
outstanding. The turkey's great.
Thank you.
My
Thank
question is this: I'm going to get to the brisket in a minute. Do you have chopped liver?
Yeah, I
because you-
do. I was going to mention that I have chopped liver, which we sell here. I didn't bring it.
You got any
I
in the
think-
case right now?
I think I can bring one for. Can you grab one of the chopped liver for me right out of the case?
Oh,
Right
yeah.
there?
Okay, we're gonna do it
Mhm.
because this is how I roll. I love my gefilte, and again,
Right there.
for
yeah.
those who are
To your right.
observant,
Mhm.
they do the Seder. The Seder usually goes like this. You have to read through that whole book, the Haggadah. You have to do the 4 questions. You got to go through this whole.
Yeah.
It was like torture back in the days when we had this big.
Did you know
group.
the 4 questions in Hebrew?
I do.
Okay.
Why on this night?
Be
Do we-
careful. We have Linda over there.
And
so.
and today, hey Linda, and
And
I'm gonna be a slouch today because at the Passover table you're supposed to eat in a reclining position,
Uh-oh.
which
there
is
you go.
usually how I eat all my meals now on the
usually you're
couch.
passed out by the end of the meal, Mike Mayo. But all right, so you love the gefilte fish. That's
Not
good.
only do I love the gefilte
Oh,
fish,
and the
I'm
chopped
so
liver.
glad
Look
we
at
got.
you.
When people ask me where do you get chopped liver, and I know there's a lot of different places and kosher markets, and Publix has it, and our friends at Grandpa's have it. This to me is the best chopped liver, and you know why?
Mm-hmm.
Because poultry and chicken is what it's in this place's name, so
That's
they're getting
it.
all these fresh
We got
chickens.
exactly.
You're doing the fresh chopped chicken livers, right?
Fresh chopped chicken liver right out of the tub that the chicken liver comes out. We take it to the kitchen.
Gonna try the
and
brisket
then
here, Gino.
We make it.
Yeah,
So,
a
yes.
little bit of egg, a little bit of onion, a
Oh,
little bit of schmaltz.
that's
And
delicious.
We
Yeah,
talked
that is
about the
absolutely great.
schmaltz last time. All right, I am going to
Yes.
put on
we'll
my.
put some salt in there because that's what it was runny at the first time I started making it. Like every other recipe, I take the advice of my customers and then
I've never seen him so excited at the
That's
beginning of
nice.
the meal here.
Yeah,
It's
Gino.
bringing
You
me
really
back
got
to
him,
my
yeah.
roots.
Yeah,
I mean,
wow.
my people in Brooklyn and Long Island and all the Seders that we had as a family. Here we go. A little bit of fresh chopped liver from Delaware on aged matzah. Did you know that was thing? Now it's like going to be like wine and cheese, like
That's
the vintage matzah.
That's like 12 years old. Oh, 2002. That's like
No,
20.
2022.
Oh,
Just
22. Okay,
just
2
2
years
years
old.
old.
Okay, not bad. Not bad.
That's delicious. I'm going to say maybe a little sprinkle of salt, but I like my liver a little bit saltier, but delicious. I mean, so fresh.
Yes.
I mean, these two things just blows away any other thing that I ever have, in my Passover table in my
Wow.
youth. And
It's a
that's
strong
why,
statement. Yeah,
that's why I'm excited. These people, Gene, and
they're really doing right. There's no doubt about it.
yeah,
I mean, this brisket is fantastic. The turkey's delicious. And you're all infatuated with the, what would be considered to be Jewish food here, which, you know what? I mean, people make it in a variety of ways. It's amazing that you can get something this good here at Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood
Yes.
Market. But you would anticipate that. This is as good as coming to, and we represent a lot of fine restaurants. When we come here, the food takes no second to, and it's not really a restaurant. I mean, this is a place that's selling you stuff that you can cook at home.
Yes.
it's a market.
It's
for
called
grab
quality.
and
It's
go.
called quality. Yeah.
Quality.
You grab it and go, and then you go home and make it. And the gefilte fish, you don't have to make it, or you don't have to buy it from us. It's your choice. You want to buy it already made? We have it. You want to buy your fish individually? We will grind it for you.
Mm.
Then you take it home and make it. Same thing for the chopped liver. You
I
don't
don't
want
know.
to make it?
I don't know anybody who makes and grinds their own gefilte fish anymore. I mean, I've only seen it out of the jar, which is, again, that is what the
Yeah,
source
no,
of
that
his.
turned me off to it permanently.
It's
There's
trauma.
no doubt,
The man
yeah.
was traumatized in his youth by the jelly, and he is very happy to see. You love onions, though, right?
I know I probably would like it, but it's just a thing. I have such a mental block
I'm
against
shocked
gefilte fish
That
that
you have rejected
yeah.
a stick. And again,
Maybe if you
because I know I have to give it back, Gene.
Maybe-
Look,
No,
don't let him
no,
fake his way
I-
through the show.
if you consumed a whole one of these, and you would want to
Make
because
that deal
it's
with Lubie.
up the bed
Well,
to
I'm
like
not
$300,
Make that
you
deal
don't
with
eat it
Lubie.
for free, huh?
I'm shocked. What kind of degenerate are you? I mean, oh man, Gene.
My theory is when you go to the track, bring your own money. So,
I'm
I'll
gonna
stick
keep
with
digging in on this gefilte fish. Let's wrap up Easter. How did that go? You did some good business. You sold a lot of lamb and
Yeah,
whatnot. And
It was good. We sold some turkeys. We sold some fresh, a lot of fresh fish. We sold some lamb.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was very good for us, and we hoping to have another Passover, successful Passover where we be selling. I mean, we have been selling a lot of fish,
Mhm.
and we expect more people to come in, pick up their fish, get
Look-
their turkeys, get their brisket. And there's another thing we do cook the turkeys for this holidays.
right.
You still got time to call in your order, and then we could do a whole turkey. We could do a turkey roll.
The turkey roll, the
We could
turkey
do a
breast,
turkey
right?
breast,
Yeah.
and we're also gonna have plenty of rotisserie chicken and roasted chicken,
Roasted
especially
chicken.
roasted chicken.
That might hit
Very,
my
very
holiday
popular.
table. I'm going to
Very
do a little
popular.
bit of a
Mhm.
what we call in Yiddish a kakapipsi, which is a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I think on Monday night I'm going to have a little family gathering. I'm definitely getting the fish and the liver and probably some roasted chicken from you guys, and then I'll hit
Yes.
my friends at Grandpa's. They have a couple of the simis, which is the carrots with the honey and some other things. They have the falafel, which is another casserole. Their brisket is good. I might do a brisket showdown at my table. Get a little bit of your brisket, a little
Yeah.
bit of the Grandpa's brisket. Have myself a big sponsor party. It'd be great.
That sounds good.
How do people call up? To get their orders in? They just do it.
They pick up
give
the
them a call.
phone, man.
Over the phone?
How do people call up?
They do it over the phone. They call
This stuff has got to
983.
your head. Are you eating too much
954.
horseradish with this? What is going on? with you?
I meant it was what is the phone number, Dean, for people
I
to call
understand.
in?
That's what I was about to answer. It's
You
you bailed them out,
954
Gene. You bailed them out.
954 983 6831. Call us from 8:30 to like 5:30 ish. We'll be here to take your order. We'll be glad to serve you for those holiday and happy Passover to everybody.
Yeah, and again, the first Seder night is next Monday, the 22nd. You can call in and pick it up on Sunday or Monday. All day.
Yes.
And if you're having a second Seder, you can come in on Tuesday because they are open throughout the Passover holiday.
Yes.
But I guess besides the whole Passover holiday coming up, it's also rapidly approaching the end of stone crab, season.
Correct.
Shed a tear.
Mark the time. It took them 15 minutes. before he said, "Are those stone crabs, Gene?"
No, I'm not even. I've got blinders on. I am only looking at.
Can
my
you substitute
eyes
stone
only
crabs
are
for the
on
gefilte fish? Can you substitute stone crabs for gefilte
for the
fish
money.
in the Jewish religion?
No, I think Joanne is going to be throwing a spit fit right now because, as any kosher, anybody who's an observant Jew knows, shellfish not so kosher. Gefilte fish completely kosher.
Lubie was on top of that today.
That is correct.
So, but yeah, stone crabs. Have they been selling? Have the prices moderated at all, or are they still?
I mean, it's still the same price except for the medium that went down. It was $34.99. Now we're selling it at $32.99, and then we've been selling them, and we encourage people to try to get them because
That's it. Last 2 weeks.
Exactly. In a few weeks, they will be gone.
They'll be gone until October 15th.
October 15th.
It's a sad time. It means not only that, hurricane season and the summer humidity is almost upon us, it also means that, we don't get to see that beautiful local product. And the medium, as I've found out, is the best value. You get the biggest meat yield from it. And also, the laws and the rules were changed a couple of years back, so the mediums are actually bigger than they used to be.
Yeah.
They have
A little bit bigger.
a bigger minimum size of the claw.
Yes.
So the mediums are heftier than they have ever been, and the best value that you can get out there, especially here at Delaware. So
Yes, sir.
it's awesome. What else you got cooking coming up? I mean, it's just get through the Passover holiday, and then it's on to grill season, right?
Yes, until to the grill season. We have Mother's Day coming up. That's one of the holidays that we used to sell a lot of stone crab, but since the season has been shortened to May 2nd instead of May 10, it used to be May 10.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, it used to be May 15th, which was
15th.
always encompassing
Mother's Day
Yeah.
is like always around that.
Yeah.
So now we don't know how we're gonna do that.
You know what? We got a lot. I never thought of it, but that is really not. It's not right. And I would lobby the Fish and Wildlife Commission or whoever is regulating the dates
Good luck.
and say, how about let's make the season October 30th through May 15th? Because who really needs it in those last 2 weeks of October? Because it's still, you don't feel like it's the season anyway.
Yeah, you have a lot of complaints. Because
Call
a lot
Ron
of people,
DeSantis. Yeah,
they can't wait
got
for
a
this
hot
No,
mic.
Ron
start.
Bergeron, who's Alligator Ron, who was on the Fish and Wildlife Commission for a while. I don't know who sets the rules, but the bottom line was for a while the stone crab catch and population was going down.
Yes.
And as a conservation measure, they've cut back on the season. They decided to cut it back by 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they chose those 2 weeks. I would have just said, cut out 2 weeks, 1 week in, April and 1 week in November or
Save
something.
Mother's Day.
Yeah, except save Mother's Day.
Yes.
But and stone crab doesn't freeze well at all. That's the problem.
It doesn't. And we try not to have them frozen. So
Right. I mean, it's not like you would get a bunch in on May 1st, throw them in the freezer, and then throw them out for Mother's Day weekend, because that's just not the Delaware way.
Unless we'll get them from like the Bahamas one, but I don't know. I talk to Jose, see what he thinks, and then we'll go from there. But instead of stone crab, we'll have plenty of other seafood, such as king crab leg.
Good looking scallops. Wow.
Yeah, we will have plenty of seafood, shrimp, Key West pink shrimp. We'll have colossal shrimp. We'll have the cluster, the snow crab cluster. So we'll have plenty of seafood for you to, and then the Florida lobster tails, which we still have them, but probably previously frozen.
I love that we're facing the opposite way today from the last few times that we've been here. We now see in the background the beautiful fish display, and off to the side is the seafood with the the crabs and the shrimp and the scallops.
Yes.
I suggest everybody come in here if you are a seafood fan, because it doesn't get any prettier than this.
Poultry fan too. I mean, that chicken that I got here last time we were here, Mustang cooked it up. I actually waited a day or so. So you're thinking, okay, you're challenging the gods of freshness, and a noticeable, I mean, perceivable difference in taste. And I see the sign up there, hormone free. I mean, what you're getting here at Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market is light years beyond what you're getting in the grocery store in terms of freshness and health value and taste. It was really, really tremendous.
Yeah, and then it's not that expensive.
Yeah, big difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, big difference.
It's not that expensive.
Yeah.
We are very competitive.
Gene, I am going to polish off this gefilte fish.
Will you eat more than one piece? That's the question. For the $100, you can keep your 100 if you can eat 2 of them.
All of this is all very friendly to all my dietary needs at this point.
There
Low
you go.
sugar, high protein, low fat. Yeah, I'll eat the whole plate. And for that, my friend, I will award myself $100.
There
Take
you
the 100.
go.
Yeah.
And I will use that towards the Pick 5 carryover today.
All right.
And then hopefully I'll show up at Gulfstream tomorrow with just
Stacks of,
sticks upon sticks and taunt you mercilessly. So, Gene, I got to thank you. I think we're going to take our first
Great
break.
job, Gene.
I
As
don't know if
always.
Jose
Wow.
is waiting in the
Remarkable.
wings or what's going on because I came late to my own party today. But I got to say thanks, as usual, for everything.
no
Beautiful
problem.
job.
Again, people, if you are, still figuring out your Seder plans in terms of what you're going to get for your Seder table this Monday, Tuesday, Delaware Chicken and Seafood is the place. Quality, value, freshness. And you come in here, they'll take great care of you. Mention the lunchbox and, they'll
Special
give
discounts.
they'll give you a nice look and maybe a little extra schmaltz in your chopped liver. All right, we're going to take our first break. We'll come back with more on the lunchbox after these words. Food from a scratch kitchen, delicious drinks and house-made spirits from a craft bar, a great vibe inside and out with a spacious patio. I'm talking about Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap, Fort Lauderdale, in the heart of the city at 525 North Federal Highway. It's open 7 days for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch with classics like fried chicken and waffles and shrimp and grits, and creative items like pecan-crusted salmon and a fried green tomato BLT. And the drinks? Smooth sipping and so good. There's convenient free parking and a garage next door, happy hour at the bar, an entire patio, 4 to 7 Monday to Friday, and live music every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's pet and people friendly and with cozy fire pits for when the temperature dips. For reservations and more information, go to batchsouthernkitchen.com. Hey, it's Mayo here for Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Since 1951, for over 70 years, the home of freshness. I've been a customer for over 3 decades, and it's the place to go for poultry, steaks, meats, and of course, their unbelievable selection of fish and seafood. They've got it all. Key West pink shrimp, grouper, snapper, lobster, and of course, Florida stone crab claws of all sizes. Don't forget their famous fish dip and a full selection of prepared foods. It's located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, just across from the Seminole Classic Casino. Doug Carter and crew will take great care of you. Make sure to check out their weekly specials and daily catch online at DelawareChicken.com. Quality, value, freshness, that's the Delaware way. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, and also now with a new location on Las Olas Boulevard. Those are my spots. Upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and daily fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have daily happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. For an exquisite sushi experience, Kaizen Sushi Bar and Grill in Fort Lauderdale is the place to go. 5640 North Federal Highway, just north of Commercial Boulevard. Chef owner Hui Lam, he's a sushi savant, slicing and serving pristine fish and seafood flown in directly from Japan and around the world. Nigiri, sashimi, special rolls, and omakase dinners. He's ruined me from going anywhere else. It's that good. Open 7 days for dinner and also for lunch. Even if you're not a sushi fan, they have great cooked options, including steaks, chops, rice and noodles, and other Japanese dishes. It's fantastic. For reservations and information, go to kaizenflorida.com. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. Delicious Mexican food with innovative twists. Margaritas with a medley of tongue-tingling flavors. I'm talking about Taco Craft, Taqueria, and Tequila Bar. The place to go on Taco Tuesday and every day. It's located at 510 North Federal and Highway in Fort Lauderdale, and also in Lauderdale by the Sea at Plantation Walk, and soon in Coral Springs. Taco Craft has specials every day, including bottomless drinks for a Sunday brunch and Taco Tuesdays with their $4 premium tacos, including their new burrito tacos with bone marrow broth. Oh, it's so good. They've even made a taco lover out of me, and they've got so much more, including fajitas, that open-faced smashed cheeseburger tortilla that's new, and a guacamole sample that's an explosion of flavors. The kitchen is open late. There's delivery and takeout. For more information, go to tacocraft.com. Tell them Mike Mayo, the Lunchbox, sent you. All right, we're back on the Lunchbox. We are enjoying a fabulous Passover Seder feast prepared by Gene here at Delaware Chicken and Seafood. And I just, during the break, dug into the brisket. Look at this lovely bark
really
on
nice.
this, too. You'd think it's like a pitmaster.
Feels like it was smoked, yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful bark. And he got the potato lock, is delicious. And now we can ask Mike Lubitz. How was the trip to the Dominican? I bet you didn't find any gefilte fish or brisket like this in the DR.
We did not. The food was great. The experience was great. Did have an interesting food experience, though. That when we got, it's funny, it was a big topic, like a month ago when we did the when do you or not return food, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a big dish over in the Caribbean, and it comes out of Puerto Rico, but you find a lot of the Caribbean because plantain is almost everywhere. Something called mofongo.
Mofongo.
Okay. Now, in Dominican Republic, they do an offshoot of this called mango, which is it's boiled plantain just like mofongo, but they make it down like to a mash. Okay. And depending on how ripe plantain is, it could be sweet, it could be a little bit less sweet. It's more like a carb, so it's usually not sweet. But I found that we had some that was sweet this time, and it was good. But you can also get mofongo there as well, because again, there's plantains everywhere, and plantain's a big thing.
So it's mofongo or
mango.
Mango.
Okay, but mofongo they do have as well. So we'd had mofongo a couple times, and then our last night was. What's today? Today's Thursday. So Tuesday night was our last night there. We went to a restaurant and they had mofongo again, and they had a bunch of stuff at this restaurant. And I was like, it was the last night there.
Were
I wanted
mofongoed out. It was at the.
Oh, it's not even that. I wanted something that I could count on, right? Because they had a lot of American dishes, they had a lot of other dishes. So I was like, let me just go with mofongo again. We're going back to the States.
It was like in
I'm
Morocco,
not going to get this.
It was nothing but couscous. This is like nothing but mofongo.
I had mofongo a lot, and I had sancocho, which is like a soup, like a stew.
Mm-hmm.
They do that a lot there too. So this place did mofongo, and I was like, you know what? It's the last night here. I'm probably not gonna have mofongo for a while. So now it said alvino, which I thought, I didn't know what the heck. I guess that means like a sauce, but still, what do you think? If it is a wine sauce, they're usually, a subtle. A wine sauce is usually subtle, right? Okay, so it says alvino, and you pick your meat. Okay, whatever. It comes out though in this big clump, and it was not how it normally looks, and it was drenched in tomato sauce.
Okay.
Which is not alvino. My wife read it. Her father read it. Right. It is not like, if you get a red wine sauce, it's usually, again, subtle. It's not overwhelming. It doesn't overtake the thing.
So the item didn't match the menu description.
It did not match the menu description. We've talked about if it's overcooked, not overcooked. Did you like it or not? We haven't talked about if the item you order is not what you get. So I'm trying to eat this thing because, again, I'm not one to send food back. It's just not
trying to eat it means you took several bites.
I took one bite. I was like, oh, I don't like this.
And that's the code.
I took one bite. I did no. It was big. Okay,
it's past the point of return.
It was like this big.
The threshold.
And I took max 4 bites, and it was this big, so I didn't even need a quarter of
4 bites.
So I ate 1 or 2 bites, and I'm like, dang, I don't really like this, and I'm frustrated. And everyone sort of likes what they like. My father-in-law also got mofongo, but his was more of a cream sauce. But it also was weird because, again, mofongo doesn't come with a sauce. Like it doesn't need a sauce. So I was like, here, Shirley, can you try this? Tell me if I'm wrong. She's like, yeah, that's weird. Like, when do you get tomato sauce on mofongo? I'm like, I didn't. I'm like, read the menu. She's like, yeah, alvino isn't tomato. Like they would say marinara or pomodoro or some other offshoot.
So what's the upshot? What happened?
So I was like, okay, what do you do? So my mother-in-law tries it. We're okay. That's why there was more bites, because I wanted to make sure I wasn't being a jerk.
Now we're in the Larry David realm where he had the the key lime pie and he didn't quite like it. Then his date tried it and they ate half the pie.
We didn't eat that much.
And they tried to return it, and the GM said, "No, I'm sorry, it's past the threshold of return."
So we didn't get to that point. It was literally less than a quarter of it was eaten. So we weren't there. But Shirley's like, why don't you return it? And I'm like, I don't know. I feel weird. I don't want, like, maybe I missed something. She's like, if you don't like a dish, and as long as you didn't eat most of it, you should return it. I'm like, also, I don't speak Spanish, and I don't know how to explain this to this guy.
No
so,
me gusta.
so the
right?
guy,
Is that it?
so yeah, no me gustas I don't like. So she tells the guy, he goes, and then he comes back, and he's like in tears, and he like is.
It was
we
a
just-
personal affront.
We
to
just had him
and
take it
his
off
entire family.
because I didn't want to order.
His
something
mother
else.
probably made it.
No, no, he's like, that was horrendous. He comes back in tears. That was horrible. I don't know how I served that to you. I don't know how we served that to you.
Oh,
Please. He was like uberly
so he
apologetic.
agreed. Oh, wow. Well, that's nice.
Yes, he was great. So, and then they bring out a dessert, okay, for free, which is
With
a
the
lot.
same sauce.
No, it was brownies and ice cream.
Okay.
But the part to me that's interesting is my mother-in-law was like, well, that was a nice gesture, but they didn't ask what dessert we wanted. And I'm like, I don't think I've ever gotten that deep into a gesture where they're asking. Like, is that a standard thing? If someone is going out of the way to be nice, do they also then ask what dessert you want? Because I've never had that happen before.
That's nice. They're making up for it. It's the repentance of they know they served a.
But like, should they
dish.
then ask what dessert you want?
Absolutely.
Okay, because they didn't do that.
They,
They
can
just brought
bring out
out
a dessert that
they
maybe
just-
you're allergic to.
Well, they
So
did just bring out a dessert. So to me, I gave them credit just for bringing out dessert. With working with you, no
I
places.
say they
so
went
I-
the extra distance to try to
they-
satisfy you and atone.
They did.
I know we're on Passover, not Yom Kippur.
So anyway,
but
so
they-
that was
it
an interesting experience,
atonement.
and they handled it well. They handled it really well. The guy felt really bad. They took the dish off, didn't fight. He apologized, and they brought out a dessert. And I was like, okay, I don't know how Letzi would handle this, but they handled it really well.
That's nice. And they the nice part is they took a bite and agreed. And
Yeah, he
said
tried it. He was like, yeah,
it
this
was
is horrendous. He's like, this
Right.
is
Because it's
horrendous.
one thing if like this is how they make a dish, and all right, the menu description might be off, but you just say this isn't to my liking, and then it's kind of like in their hands whether they're gonna take the dish off or not, especially if you don't order another dish.
When then my in-laws were like weirded out that he's crying. I'm like, look, I don't think he was fired or anything, so I didn't understand the emotional response. But like he was in tears, and I'm like, I guess maybe he takes his job really seriously. I don't know. I actually felt guilty. I'm like, that's why I didn't want to do it. She's like, no, that's not. That
Defo, did you ever burst into tears when you were a server at the Dar Maghreb in
I had many an embarrassing moment, including the first time I opened a bottle of wine. And, you got the little sort of hand
Corkscrew.
opener there. You
Yeah.
don't have some elaborate corkscrew. And
Oh.
it's actually really an easy way to do it with the waiter's corkscrew.
Oh yeah, I love those.
But I forgot to take the tape off the top of the bottle.
Oh no.
That makes
So
it
I'm
much
sitting in
harder.
front of people trying to talk and act like I'm doing this very casually, and having never opened a bottle of wine in a restaurant before. And I'm yanking this thing, and I got it between my legs. And eventually it was like I was pulling a fire hydrant out of the ground. It was incredible. I'm crouched over this thing. And finally, fortunately, the customer, the person I was serving, one of them, was a table of four, said it would be
We're
a
in
good
the middle
idea
of the show here, man.
if you cut the tape off. So I did that, and I felt like a fool. But I left a couple of the corkscrews, the actual screw part, in the bottle before I realized what the hell I was doing. But you learn your lesson.
You live and learn.
I felt like running out of the restaurant.
It would have been better if like you finally got it out and it was a shower of wine
Went
everywhere,
everywhere.
and it ended up on O.J. Simpson.
There you
Well,
go.
it could have been OJ that night. It's very
RIH.
possible.
Hey, this would be a good time. We have some news. We have a new sponsor, and we wanted to
Yes.
welcome
All right.
to the show because we haven't cut the ad just yet, but we are going to be going in there next week to do a show on Tuesday, 23rd. Lubie won't
right in the
be
middle
able
of
to eat
Passover, you just come back.
pizza. You'll be able to have some chicken and stuff, but
Your piece of work.
Stromboli's Pizza Restaurant in
Wow.
the Fountains in Plantation, a place that
Yeah, near my
Lubie
hometown.
is familiar with.
Yes, sir.
And Nick,
My
one
parents
of-
love the place.
Nick is the owner there. They took it over a few years ago from another ownership, but the place has been there, I think, almost 25,
Like a
30
long time,
years,
yeah.
ever since I think the Fountains has opened. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
The fountains, that's we were there, right? For the
That's
Pepe's
right
or
by where
whatever?
Pepe's is. Yeah.
It's near Pepe's.
Doing
It's
real
actually-
well, apparently. I mean, I see a lot of compliments from the group. There were some places that there was a little
that
bit of
area is
controversy
big.
about, but
Yeah,
That area's big.
That
Seems
is
to be doing well.
Plantation Walk, where we're going to be
He's doing a great
next
job.
month for the Cinco de Mayo celebration at the Taco Craft.
Yep.
Taco Craft at
Oh, nice.
Plantation Walk.
Yeah.
A little further south is where the Fountains is, and a whole bunch of places are in there. But Stromboli's has been a long time independently owned and operated pizza restaurant. You know, what I'd call a basic, red sauce,
New York Italian. kind of-
very good food at very value friendly prices. And we're going to be going in there, and we welcome them to the Lunchbox. Again, 801 South University,
yeah,
right
welcome
there
aboard.
in the heart of Plantation. Very easy to get to from 595, along with
Easy to
just
find.
south of Broward Boulevard.
It's
Yes.
very easy to find.
Easy
It's
to
just
find.
minutes
Yeah.
from
This one is
595
easy
on
to find.
University.
And they make a good pie. They have
Nice.
a good New York style pizza. and they have all kinds of different, obviously the gourmet pies, the different toppings, and of course they have all the good red sauce dishes, the lasagnas and the baked ziti and the shrimp and veal dishes. We're going to be in there. We'll be talking with the owner, Nick. That's next Tuesday, and we welcome Stromboli's Pizza Restaurant.
Welcome to
Yeah,
the
welcome
family.
aboard. All right.
The Lunchbox. Now, let us move on to. We'll talk about. I guess Burger Month is coming up. Our friends at Visit Lauderdale.
Nice.
They have gotten into a partnership with the Burger Beast, Seth Gonzalez, who's still not talking to me, and we're going to need.
Is that real? So it's a real thing at this point.
He was that mad just from being on the show.
He celebrated his 50th birthday last.
And you weren't invited?
week. Well, no, he invited the whole world. It was a pop-up that he did down in Miami, but he's going to be doing a bunch of events. And I think I need Lenore at Gilbert's to be the
Please, we love the Burger
the Henry
Beast.
Kissinger.
We love the
kind
Burger
of broker a
Beast.
piece.
He's a really good dude.
What I understand,
and
we're going to be at Gilbert's on the last day of this month, on the 30th. Burger Month, in conjunction with National Burger Month. They're having the 954 Burger Month that Phil, Kate, and the people at the Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival thought it'd be a good idea to enlist a bunch of different restaurants locally, feature their burgers, but also have different burger events. And one of the burger events is going to be at Gilbert's on May 19th. It's a Sunday, a day that Gilbert's is usually closed, but they're going to be having a special Burger Beast event with Seth. And again, that's going to be noon to 3 p.m. on May 19th. And also, he's going to be doing something on May 1st at Lauder Ale, which is a good little microbrewery that's kind of tucked off to the side of where the port is. And Lauder Ale is celebrating its 10th anniversary this year.
Cool.
I can't believe it. That's May 1st. I wanted to angle in and maybe do a remote live show during the Beast's opening Burger Month party on May 1st.
But the host himself doesn't like
it's like 5 to 8 p.m. I'm going to have to see.
You want me to talk to him? He and I have a good relationship.
There's going to be some phone calls made.
We get along with him well.
Maybe some supplication.
I love the Burger Beast.
He's such a good dude.
Maybe some, getting on my knees and groveling.
Maybe.
Apologizing.
What could you have possibly done there?
Because he didn't get to talk on the one show.
The show we went down to his friend Dave Arbetter.
It wasn't even on purpose.
Arbetter's hot dogs.
And you went way out of your way to go and do this.
Yeah, he got along well. I thought he just didn't get to. I didn't know he wanted to talk that much.
I guess he was a little bit peeved that he was shuttling hot dogs back and forth the whole hour, and I was shoveling down my throat.
Oh, he was your Lubie. I forgot about that. He was. You're like, all right, go get it.
Just, a man of his stature and girth is not used to being in a subservient role like that. So
now you took a shot at his weight.
Wow, you're doubling down on this. We love you, Burger Beast.
Burger Beast, anything you're doing, we're behind it 100%.
Involve us, please.
All
Ignore
right.
Mr. Mayo.
So anyway, anybody who wants to get involved and buy some of those tickets to some of those special events, and also see the list of all the participating restaurants and burgers they're offering all month long of May, go to 954burgermonth.com
Okay, I'll add that to
or vlfoodwine.com. vlfoodwine.com might have a link to the Burger Month, but just go right to the source. 954burgermonth.com brings up all the lists of the events, and you can click right on it to get your Eventbrite tickets. So there, and hopefully we will broker a piece, and I will be able to eat a lot of bunless burgers, maybe wrapped in lettuce, which will
Make him sick to his stomach.
that
you'll really
that
just
would reignite the
piss him
feud.
off.
He hates lettuce. If you want to really tick off the
Yeah,
Burger Beast, just shower his burger in lettuce, especially the shredded type. You know what? Let's take another break.
Yes.
And we'll be back with more on the Lunchbox after these words from Delaware Chicken and Seafood in Hollywood. For Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me, I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. We're back here on the Lunchbox. We're at Delaware Chicken and Seafood. I have not had a Jose sighting. I don't know if he's around. He's the
Probably
man
out
too.
fishing, this guy.
He loves fishing. He loves the seafood. Longtime seafood manager Jose Sanchez. Hopefully, he'll be joining us in a minute. I do have a couple other topics, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
Number one is, I heard you on your morning show. Welcome back, and you had, of course, Ed Garcia from Texas Roadhouse. Thank you for noting that I did not drop his name or try to pull any kind of moves.
You went and came out of pocket full.
When I went to the Texas Roadhouse unannounced, road weary at Port St. Lucie, and had a fantastic meal. And it got me to thinking about places that I've changed my minds on. When you first maybe have a not so great experience somewhere, and then afterwards you give it another chance, and then you have a great one, and then you go back and it's even better. And it got me to thinking, because I've had that happen a couple of times, and both involving chains. I imagine it's happened with some local independents too. But the two most notable ones in my life are Texas Roadhouse. Now I'm a big fan. I'm just like all in on them. Their stuff is really good.
Yeah, and your daughter liked it too, and your daughter's a harsh critic too.
And even the ex-wife, she was like raving about it. And she is a very...
She would have a natural tendency to disagree with you on everything. So. Yeah.
If she found
That's
that
remarkable.
Garcia was a Michigan Wolverine,
Yeah, she wouldn't like
the
that, but it's okay.
ex-Buckeye might not be so happy. But, all right, so Texas Roadhouse, number one. Number two, Cooper's Hawk Winery.
So you actually didn't like it? Because I love Cooper's Hawk.
So Cooper's Hawk, I went in and I actually gave a formal Sun Sentinel review. I went to the one in up in the northern part of the county, and why can't I think of my name?
The one by me in Coral
near
Springs.
Market.
That's one
Coconut
by
Creek.
me. That's by my house. Yeah, that's by my house.
Creek.
I love that one.
There's several in South Florida. At the time I wrote the review, it was relatively new to the area, and it was just in the Coconut Creek Promenade, and it was just in Pembroke Pines. I had a very, let's say, mediocre experience there, and what I didn't like about it was they have all these house-made wines that you don't know where they come. Basically, they're getting excess grapes from all the major growers, and they bottle and produce their own wines and vintages.
You wanted to know the origins?
And some of them were kind of, not so good. Tasted like Lucille Ball was stomping the grapes with her foot.
Like a skit.
Others tasted plenty good. I was just bothered that they didn't list the kind of origin and the composition of the wine. And I also didn't like that before you sat down for the meal, they gave you this like timeshare pitch. They have this like wine of the month club, and they were pitching these memberships. And I was like,
my wife and my father-in-law signed up, so I'll tell you that's why they do it.
But when I first went in, I was doing the review, they gave me this hard sell, and I just found it very distasteful, like I was being forced to sit through the timeshare presentation. And I wrote it up that way. And you
were like brutal.
Yeah, I kind of really trashed them.
Did you do the flight? Because the flight's like a great deal.
I didn't do the flight.
Okay.
And basically the headline on that review was, Cooper's Hawk is like a Cracker Barrel of wine with the timeshare pitch or something like that. Now, much to the chain's credit, they're based out of Illinois. Somebody there saw what I wrote, and they've actually used the notes to improve the experience.
Really?
They got rid of the pitch.
I was gonna say I remember them doing it at the end after we really enjoyed it. And as we've talked about, my wife, my in-laws are big into wine. They then pitched them, but it wasn't at the beginning. It was like at the end when
Which
they
is
could tell
better
we
if
really
you
enjoyed
express that you really like the wine. I could see them then going.
That's
there.
interesting. That's because of you.
But they did respond to that, and then they built a couple of more, including one in Dania Point near me. And I've been to the one at Dania Point now. I'm kind of, I wouldn't say regular, but I've been, I usually go 3 or 4 times a year.
Yeah, it's nice.
And I have not had a bad meal or bad experience in the Dania Point one. My daughter loves it. They have, of all things, like, really good chicken piccata with angel hair pasta that they don't overcook. They have like short rib. They have a whole varied menu of salads.
Tapas they're really good.
And now some of their wines are really good.
Yep.
And they don't hit me up with the whole, presentation, even at the end. And so I've just found it to be a much better experience, and I will wholeheartedly recommend it. I don't know. I hope the consistency from one to the other is good, but Cooper's Hawk is now on my thumbs up list. Texas Roadhouse, and those are both chains. And sorry, Defo, I do like some chains.
You don't have to apologize.
We've been waiting for you to like some chains.
You had a tendency at one point in your life. I don't know if you're still the same way. Maybe Val has helped you work on some of these issues, but anybody else's idea, you immediately made a face. Even though you'd never been there or whatever, you would condemn the experience as being trivial and pedestrian. And now you've sort of opened your mind up a little bit, which is good to see.
The older you get, I've tried to broaden my horizons, and as my wallet and pockets have shrunk, value.
It's hard to find this kind of value, though. I mean, we blew a lot of smoke at Ed Garcia today, but it was all relevant and true because it's hard to get that kind of value and maintain consistency and have that level of quality. The same is true of Tropical Acres. It's not a chain; it's an individual place, but for them to maintain, not only the integrity of the product that they serve, but keep those prices reasonable when food is skyrocketing everywhere. Very, very admirable. I mean,
like
it's a great sign.
Don Jaffe just said he thinks he thought of Texas Roadhouse as the Cracker Barrel of steakhouses. Again, I think that's what people do with you're putting, I don't know what level of steak, like where are you putting them? Like they never say that they're Morton's. Like what they try to do is compete with the other chains and be massively better than them.
Get that. I got
vastly better. And that's what they are. Like I used to be a huge Outback fan. And over the years, Outback got really into the chain thing to the point where like the portions got really small.
Right.
The quality went down a lot. And like they would get rid of items that were well known. Like they had this onion soup that literally my mom would make at home because it was our favorite soup.
Oh, that was great.
And they would like either get rid of it or hide it. Like it wouldn't be on the menu. You'd have to ask. And then a lot of people don't want to ask for off that. So like they got to the chain thing to the point where we just stopped going. And we loved Outback. And I attributed that to Texas Roadhouse until we went there. And I'm like, wow, this for a chain that now is over 600 restaurants, they treat each store like it's its own entity, as in if you ask for medium rare, you're getting medium rare. If you ask for rare, you're getting rare.
They properly cook it.
The food's fresh, as I've seen them make it. Like they made us, before we joined forces with them, they made Tony and I walk through their kitchen to make sure we understood just how serious fresh quality ingredients was to them. So that's, yes, they are not a Morton's, but they don't pretend to be. Like what Defo said is the truth. Like, and Ed says it every week with us because every week inflation. Look, I was in Dominican Republic 6 years ago. I was just there now. The prices are vastly higher than they were.
Right. So
they're
it's not
insane,
just an American thing.
higher.
It's a worldwide thing since the pandemic. So don't turn it into a political issue every time people.
But Roadhouse hasn't. Like Ed felt bad. The burger was like going up 50 cents over 5 years.
I did notice that it went from $13.99 to $14.49. You know what? It's still a great value.
Yeah, but it's 50 cents. When other places, so that's the thing is like you have to understand expectations when you're going to a place and know what you're supposed to get out of it compared to what you think you're going to get out of it.
So again, I don't paint the broad brush and say all chains suck. It's not the case. There are good chains. There are bad chains. There are mediocre chains. Texas Roadhouse is an excellent chain. Cooper's Hawk is a very good chain. I like Carrabba's. Some people have said it's gone downhill. I happen to like it. When I'm on the road, like in Augusta, Georgia, or someplace like that, where we're not surrounded by a sea of excellent Italian restaurants. And speaking of that, we are going to be doing a show next week with one of my local heroes, Angelo Elia at
Nice.
Casa de
Oh, yeah,
Angelo
nice.
next Wednesday at the regular time. Looking forward to get in there
Yeah,
with
I'm
the
stoked. You talked
two
more about him.
Angelos, Angelo Elia and Angelo Massimova,
Nice.
who's his chef de cuisine at the Fort Lauderdale location. So that's going to be good. But yeah, season
Valerie
52.
Val just said herself, because that's the truth. I used to like Carrabba's, but I've heard it has gone down.
Seasons 52 is a good chain. Capitol Grill. I was in there last Saturday for a book fair event that they had a private dinner. Excellent. And Ben, who is a friend of Kui, and I got to mention, happy birthday, Kui Lam.
Oh, happy birthday.
Sushi Savant. Yesterday was his birthday. We were on live yesterday, but let me be the first to wish you many, many more years of happiness and sushi slicing and aging. That man is the Sushi Savant. Happy birthday to him. Oh, and you mentioned Don Jaffe. He was a little bit concerned because this Sunday, of course, we have the brunch bash, the 10 Palms Gulfstream brunch bash coming up Sunday, the 21st. We're going to be there from 12 to 4. I'm going to be there. Lubie and Shirley, Defo, Tony Segreto,
Yes.
I believe.
Segretto's
is
in with his wife. I'm hoping.
And Don was concerned because they announced the Stanley Cup playoff schedule. The Panthers versus Lightning game 1 is going to be at 12:30 on Sunday. He was like, "Do they have TVs there? Will they have the
TVs
game?"
everywhere.
Joe
No
Beja,
TVs at the track. None.
TVs on
People
every
will tell you
table.
they have TVs everywhere.
The game
His
is
problem.
on ESPN.
Forget it, Don. Don't even bother.
Bally's might have been a little harder to pull
Sound
in,
like Sarny.
but it's going to be on ESPN.
How many phones will Sony have to bring?
Exactly.
So he can keep
I
up
don't
with
think.
everything?
I think Sarni, even though he won, is not going to be coming this week.
Oh,
He's
yeah?
still
Wow.
on the
Guilty.
mend.
Oh, he is okay.
And he said at this point the only thing he can eat is like a plate of mashed potatoes. He's
Wow.
going
What
to
happened to this
pass on this one. I'm sure he'll get out there at some point soon. But
You're
again,
saying Andy is more likely to make it?
yeah, I think we were putting
I
odds
think
on
he's
it.
currently being wheeled into surgery as we speak.
Yeah,
I would
honestly.
put greater odds of seeing Andy Man show up on Sunday than
He's
Sarni.
a gutsy warrior, that kid.
He is.
Yeah.
We wish him well, and again, get better soon. Keep slugging, keep fighting. Again, if you want to come out, it's not too late, and we're going to have a great crowd. I just did the tally. It looks like we have a group of about 45 people coming
Nice.
out, including,
Nice.
get this, Defo, 25 paying guests.
Nice. I'm
20.
Joe
that
Beja
has to
very
be hardening
happy.
for Joe Beja and Dave Joseph.
Oh,
They
it
do
is.
have a
They
cult.
love it.
They
Paying
do
guests
have a
showing up.
following.
Nice.
We got, thanks to the, let's
Does
see.
that mean we can bring more people
Yeah,
on
can
our
I
own?
bring more?
No.
Have some
I
people
gave
that
him
like
the
to
break and I said, Joe, it's looking like 45, about like 6 contest winners and their guests. That's 12. I said 8 schnorrers. That's the 4 of us and our +1. So that's
The
20.
professor may want to be a schnorr
20
because I'm inviting him.
comps versus 25 paying.
Yeah, that's good.
And so if you want to come join the fun this Sunday, all you got to do is email me, mikemayoeats@gmail.com, and just tell me the number in your party and your name. Please let me know if there's any changes if you say that you're coming between now and Sunday, because I want to give them an accurate
A nice
count. We
account,
put
yeah.
the tables together, and they do a great job. We get seated right overlooking the track. Table and seat is yours all day, as is the brunch buffet. From basically, you could go back as many times as you
Yeah, they
want.
don't care.
You could try to break the house. They got the omelet station. They got the shrimp. They've got the carveries. They've got the great dessert station. Everything you want for the discounted price of $44 per person, plus tax and tip. It includes 1 mimosa with the meal. You could always order extra drinks, but then make sure you're going to pay for the extra drinks, along with obviously tipping your servers graciously. Again, going to be a great time. At least 45 of us this Sunday. Let's go
Nice.
for 50
Yeah, that'd be great.
at Gulfstream 10 Palms this Sunday. Joe Beja and crew are going to take great care of us. All right. Do we have to do one
more break, and then we'll wrap
let's talk about, again, you brought up Tropical Acres, 75th anniversary, and Mother's Day is coming up. So give them a call. Get on the books for the Mother's Day reservation. They're going to be open that Sunday, May 12th, from 1 to 8 p.m., 954-989-2500. Again, treat mom and grandma
Treat 'em
and
right.
all the mothers in your life to a wonderful dinner at Tropical Acres. They have been in business 75 years this month, and it's one of my favorite spots for a celebration, holidays, or any occasion. Just go on in there. You get, of course, the great happy hour in the bar Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6:30. You got the loyalty reward club card for every 12 meals you purchase. You get the 13th one on the house. And, of course, you got the great Tropical Acres classics like the prime rib, you can't beat it. The filet
You're
mignon.
talking about Mother's Day. After Mother's Day, you said it's when the
After
lobster
Mother's
special
Day,
usually comes back.
After Mother's Day, the twin lobster special will be back, and that's a
That's
summertime
a
favorite
great deal.
for us. All right, tropicalacres.com for all the information. Reservations, use that phone number, 954-989-2500, and tell them the Lunchbox sent you. All right, we'll be back to wrap up this edition of the Lunchbox after these words. Fish, a sophisticated setting. I'm talking about Corvina Seafood Grill. It's at 110 Plaza Real South in Boca Raton, just south of Palmetto Park Road. It's the place to go for the freshest and local seafood and fish, some of it with a Peruvian twist like their great ceviches. It's open 7 days for dinner. They also have happy hours 7 days a week. You don't want to miss it. It's a great place. CorvinaBocaRaton.com for more information and reservations. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a good bagel with Nova or some matzo ball soup, homemade knishes, or a great deli pastrami sandwich on rye, you know where I go? Grandpa's Cafe in Dania Beach. It's been around a long time, an institution, but a little over a year ago, a pair of New Yorkers came in, bought it, and refurbished the place. It's beautiful, and they are now serving great breakfast, brunch, lunch. They've got the omelets. They've got eggs Benedict. They've got all kinds of great baked goods like rugelach. Grandpa's is just off Federal Highway on Southwest 1st Street in Dania Beach. It's open 7 days. Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox, Mayo, and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. Go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the black and grilled wings, and of course, the kitchens are open late. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox, Mayo, and Defo sent you. All right, we're back on the Lunchbox, and before we wrap up and take our final bites, I also got to tell you about Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap. A couple of people are looking for suggestions for the weekend and also for Mother's Day brunches. Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap is a perfect place for that weekend brunch scene because you can sit outdoors, beautiful outdoor deck, and they've got the bottomless cocktail option for those who do like to imbibe on a weekend brunch meal. And,
Yes,
of
sir.
course, it's at 525 North Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale. They got free parking in the garage next door. A lot of people don't know about it. You
That's
should
great.
learn about it because that will make the experience so much easier, more pleasant. You don't have to go hunting and walking. Just go pull in right next door and then walk right across the street. And then Kevin and the whole crew there, they will take great care of you. The brunch includes things like that great chicken and waffles, the eggs Benedict with the fried green tomatoes and the spiced shrimp. And, of course, you
The
can't
biscuits.
forget those drop biscuits with the new
Homemade
blackberry jam. And, of course, you can get it with biscuits with the sausage gravy
Gravy is fantastic.
during the brunch session. And, of course, they're open 7 days a week, including lunch and dinner service. Tonight,
Yeah, live music, right?
they have live music from 6 to 8. They also have the Whiskey Wednesdays, which is always fun. They do these educational classes where you basically
Really cool.
you get to feel good about yourself because a lot of it is a fundraising component for various charities, including many of them benefiting some of them
Children's
dogs, some of
groups.
them
Nice.
kids. Drink for the Kids is a hashtag, and you feel good about yourself. You feel like you're getting educated while
Getting drunk for the
you're
children.
also getting a little bit inebriated, not too much, but it's a great time. And again, Batch 525 North Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale. I think that's going to do it for today. Oh, I got to do one more thing. And this is, when I got liver in front of me and I got turkey in front of me, you know what that
Jesus,
means.
you're the cocktail sandwich.
This is not even a sandwich. It's breadless, but I just like liver on top of turkey. It's something that not everybody loves. Gonna wash it down with my new favorite drink, Diet Dr. Pepper. It keeps me awake during the day. I don't nod off at the table like some others. Did you see some of those memes
that was
going around?
ridiculous. Freaking guy.
You know, look, if you're gonna go around denigrating an opponent and calling him Sleepy Joe and this and that,
Don't
you've
fall
got
asleep
one
at
job. One job. Don't fall asleep at the table. But
Oh, that's so funny.
those courtrooms, they can get a little
Oh,
stifling
they're very
in
boring,
there.
but still.
And apparently the man has been denied his steady stream of Diet Cokes and caffeine. And without that, he's been nodding off. And the memes, did you see it? Don Snorleone.
Oh, that's funny. That's classic.
All right, I'm going to eat my bite of turkey and liver, and I'm going to say enjoy every sandwich. Thanks to Gene and everybody here at Delaware Chicken and Seafood Market in Hollywood. We'll see you next time tomorrow from Gulfstream Park. Again, enjoy every gefilte fish and sandwich.